Welcome back to action from the Engen Polo Cup at the Kyalami Motorsport Festival. Big crowds coming out, Jack. So good to see the turnaround and what Kyalami's done. Mix FM in the house, and we're going to catch up behind the scenes with driver Darren Oates.
Well, I was born in Gauteng. To be honest, I don't know exactly where. That's weird, I know. So, born in 1996, so I'm 21 right now. So I started when I was about 5. I started with cadets, go-karts. And then after that, I raced that up until about 8 years old. And then we actually moved to Germany. So we stopped racing for a while. And then when we came back after a year, we nagged my dad that, I say we because I'm part of a twin. We nagged my dad that we want to start racing again. And at the age of 16, we started with karting again. And then I think 18, we started with Polo Cup. Yeah. In the team I was in last year, I think my highlight was that we figured out everything out and it all got together, and I managed to win the race. During the week, I try and gym at least 4 times a week. I've also got a simulator at home, so I try and do that as much as possible, but I study mechanical engineering, so it's quite difficult to get time, but racing is first, studies is second. So, yeah. Well, Ethan Senna is a hero. He was before my time, but currently I'm a Fernando Alonso fan. He's not racing for the best team in Formula 1 at the moment, so I also like Max Verstappen. I see a lot of myself in him, so yeah. Le Mans, yeah. I think or Spa. I don't know. I haven't been there in real life, so but PlayStation probably Spa. Yeah.
Darren, of course, steps up into the seat of a multiple champion there in the Pioneer Signature Motorsport team. We wish him all the very best as the tension starts to rise now for race 1 of the season. Cars on track. Let's have a look at that grid. Jeff Kruger ahead of Jonathan Mahotsi and Tasman Pepper, beating out her stablemate Keegan Campos. Jan Gerber, last year's Masters champion, ahead of Reserve. And then it's Delon Thompson stepping up there. Great effort from him to beat out Charles Wilkin, Jason Campos, Justin Oates, Daniel Dermany in 11th place ahead of Clinton Besaidno. Then it's Darren Oates, Benjamin Hubbock. And look at that, Simon Need and Johan Pretorius at the back. You've got Paulus Franken just behind them with Shivi Bassoon. And then it's Rice Ismail, new man there, fighting hard with Piet Basahi, Alton Bow and Wouter Roos. Lights on, and we're about to go racing here for the first time in Engen Polo Cup for 2018. What a good start off the line there for Jeff Kruger. Looks like he might be able to hang on to that inside line as they head down towards Crowthorne. We're on board here with Darren Oates, a bit further back than what he'd like to be, but getting to grips with this new car. And a lot of drivers are saying how different this car is to drive. So much more power. Remember, you've also got to take into account that you do have a push-to-pass option 6 times in a race. And these drivers will be looking to use that as soon as they can to ensure that they get up to the front end and be in the mix. Simon Need getting very close attention in the background there. You can see from Rice Asmal as they went up into Yuxke for the first time. Daniel Dermany side by side as they come out there. And Dermany actually onto the grass. Ben Hubbing looking to capitalize as Dermany comes straight back on here. We're on board with the Just Tools man as they go side by side down the back straight and into Sunset. Super start there from Tasman Pepper. Not such a good start coming out of La Reserve. He battled a bit off the line, but it looks like he's tacked himself up into the top 10 there and looking for an opportunity to squeeze through if he can. He's just behind Campos as they head down into Clubhouse Corner for the first time in anger. Darren Oates just ahead of Pretorius as they come out of Clubhouse Corner heading towards the S's. A super start from Jeff Kruger. He maintains a little bit of a margin now over Mahotsi. Mahotsi looking to close that down as quickly as possible. Nice move there from Jan Gerber, moving up into 3rd place and looking for opportunity to just make up a little bit more ground. Didn't have quite the start he wanted off the line though, so we'll expect to see more of that as he's on pole for the second race. Tasman Pepper is hounding him. So is Campos. Le Reserve now right there with Campos as we go on board here with Mokotsi down the mine shaft. Let's see what this GTI can do in full flight for the first time in a race condition. And as they go through there, you can see there's absolutely no lift whatsoever. Those Dunlop tires are working brilliantly and holding all the grip that's required as they get down into Crocodile. Hard on the brakes, Mokotsi closes the gap on Jeff Kruger. Jeff Kruger will know exactly how to place that universal healthcare car of his if he wants to keep out the charge coming from Volkswagen Motorsports. Mokotsi go through there for the first time. Everybody staying off the curb. It's very dangerous if you put a wheel on the curb there. You can see a couple of guys. Oh, as I say that in the background, the Glyco car there, Besaidno just got a little lift as they went through Cheetah. Now onto the braking markers and down into Ingwe corner. Simon Need, the Phototronics man from Mauritius, starting to close onto the back end of Icemel. He has got a hard-charging Paulus Franken behind him, and looks like right at the back there, Shivy Bassoon. Hard on the brakes now down into Crowthorne, and let's have a look and see if there's any changes at this stage. Not right now. I think these cars are a little bit too evenly matched, and right now you can see big pressure being applied there from Tasman Pepper. Onto the back end of last year's Masters champion, the Haupt Racing car there in third place, Jean Gerber. Still no sponsors in that team, but they're working hard to get some for the next race meeting in Cape Town. Tasman Pepper, Electric Life, brand new sponsor on her car, no doubt about that one. Oh, have a look at this. There's been some action in the background, and Asmal looks like he's tagged somebody on the way through. Oh, he's tagged another one. He's hit Need, and he's forcing Need into the wall and onto the wall. Never mind, into the wall. He's stuck on the wall. I think Daniel Duminy might have been the first contender that he was having a bit of a fight with. It's going to bring the safety car out, but let's have a quick replay. This is into Crowthorne, and there's Daniel Duminy being helped out there by Asmal. The two of them coming together. That caused the front end damage to Asmal's car. And then as he went up into the XK complex, you can see Asmal on the outside, Simon Need giving him some room. He just comes across, tags Need, and the two of them end up, well, one on the wall and one off it. A little bit of a baptism of fire for our Volkswagen Motorsport driver search man there in the Volkswagen Motorsport team. We are underway again. The pace car has pulled off, and it's time to go racing as we go on board with Sean Le Reserve, trying to make up a little bit of ground. Have a look at this, 120, 130 as they go across the line, heading down towards Crowthorne corner for the first time. Probably going to be close to the 200k an hour mark as they get down there. He's in fifth gear still. By the time he gets to six, he'll have to bang it through the gearbox and get back into contention here. He's lost a little bit of ground, as you can see. The top two cars getting away there from Jean Gerber. Jean Gerber's holding the rest of this back up. And Tasman Pepper, remember, is fighting for Masters honours as well as overall honours. She's now stepped up, being 27 years of age, into the Masters category. And Jean Gerber will probably be looking in the rearview mirror going, hang on a second. This is no longer just a fight for overall. Mokotsi is definitely fighting for overall. He wants to get ahead of Jeff Kruger. But Kruger just seems to have got to grips with his car so well, right from the word go. They go through Sunset. Everything she's got through there. Little tap just to settle the car, as you can see, on the breakers. Maybe just give Mokotsi a second option to get a bit closer. He does that under braking into Clubhouse. The Volkswagen Motorsport man all over that universal healthcare car of Jeff Kruger. Jean Gerber, Tasman Pepper. Then you've got Campos. Le Reserve under a bit of attack there. You can see Charles Wilkin has stepped up, and you can see the Norco Bicycles man certainly giving a little bit of a run for their money to a man who has not been involved in racing, and super to have him back on track. And speaking of staying on track, Mokotsi very lucky to catch it through the first part of the S there. You could see the Polo stepped out big time on him, but he managed to catch it. This is a man who started his racing career playing PlayStation, remember, and was found by Volkswagen to be the possibility of the next driver to make his way to the top end of Volkswagen Motorsport's echelon. Speaking of that, he's now looking to get to the front end of this race, never mind the top end of Volkswagen Motorsport, as he looks to go on the hunt to get through on Jeff Kruger. Kruger just seems to have that edge, though. He knows exactly where to place the car. Remember, he comes from not only Super Hatch racing, but Polo Cups, plenty of seasons behind his belt, and a Golf R championship in Europe. So he'll definitely know exactly what to do to keep out anybody who goes on the attack. Checkered flag is standing by, and Jeff Kruger is going to take the first victory here for the brand new Engen Polo Cup. He comes through ahead of Mokotsi, who finishes up ahead of Jean Gerber, beating out Tasman Pepper, Keegan Campos, and Le Reserve for the top six there. An incredible dice for this very first outing in the new Polo Cups. Charles Wilkin eventually finished up in 7th place, beating out the Just Tools car there of Ben Hubbing. Start the season with a Masters win, can't ask for better than that, but you've got to find a little bit extra to get up to the front end.
Yeah, no, so Jeffrey had our number in that race. It was quite a bit of tactics there with the safety car and the push the passes. We had what was left in terms of pace. I think certain people also struggled with some grip levels. But yeah, so it turned out well for us for that first race. We're going to have to pull off something better for the second one, yeah, for sure.
You couldn't ask for a better start to the race day or to the race championship, but an easy start with that safety car situation.
Yeah, I won't lie, the safety car definitely helped us out a bit. Saved the tyres for sure and cooled everything nice down. But yeah, I must say a big thank you to my dad and the whole Universal team for putting on such a display this weekend. And yeah, the series, it's looking good, it's looking professional, and it's so nice that the cars are evenly matched. It's really now down to driving and tactics, which is what everyone wants. So now looking forward to the second race starting P4. It's going to be a bit more challenging, so we have to save the push to pass for later and hope for the best.
That's how it all ended up for race number 1. Join us after the break for race 2 action from the Engen Polo Cup.